So, Chris Stapleton has a whiskey. No, it's not a Tennessee whiskey. It's not even a bourbon. It's a blended whiskey. Plenty of reviews out there, so I will skip that and jump right into making an old-fashioned. May the force be with me. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. Yes, there are plenty of reviews out there on this new Traveler's Whiskey. I really enjoyed the one from my friends over at Baker's Drinks, so I will leave a link for theirs below. Before we start, repeat after me. Traveler Whiskey does not contain vodka.
Vodka.
There seems to be some sort of belief out there that Traveler Whiskey is Buffalo Trace bourbon blended with Wheatley vodka. Don't get me wrong, I understand where folks are coming from by thinking that this could contain vodka in it. It states it's a blended whiskey by the collaboration of Chris Stapleton and master distiller Harlan Wheatley. Vodka is technically a grain neutral spirit, and blended whiskey, as this bottle here clearly states, can have grain neutral spirits in the blend. Traveler Whiskey does not contain grain neutral spirits. To prove it, check out the selling points section of this product stat sheet. It is believed that a large portion of Traveler Whiskey blend is Canadian whiskey. By its very own nature, Canadian whiskey is cheaper and easier to make.
It's so easy to make. Come on.
A majority of it is made to the specs of light whiskey in the US, barreled in used cooperage. It does come close to a grain neutral spirit, but brings some of the smoothness and whiskey flavors with it. This is what is believed to make up a large component of Traveler's Whiskey. The other component is the bourbon distilled at Barton Distillery. Both sets are liquid, then transported to Buffalo Trace Distillery to be blended and bottled. Lots of reviews are there. I'm not super excited, but not really negative as well. But all seem to have some of these hints of flavors in them. On the palate, toffee, honey, corn sugar, vanilla, toasted oak, light fruits, apricot, banana Laffy Taffy, roasted almonds, notes of cinnamon and spice. On the finish, it is very supple with a bit of heat to it, with the mouthfeel that sticks around for a quick moment. Leaves you with a toffee and vanilla with a refreshing mint note and lingering pepper, oak, and spice at the tail end.
Spicy.
Now, with all that being said, I only got a few of these quick hints of flavors that fade quickly from my palate. It was the spice and vanilla that kind of stood out to me with a little bit of hay. So I'm gonna try to highlight some of these notes.
Highlighter.
Add more of the flavor and hopefully add some more finish to this. I would say that this drinks more like a light whiskey, but I honestly get more flavors from a light whiskey. If you're liking these videos, please click on that like button. Also make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell. Sorry, no cocktail quiz time today. This is going to be a challenge and I need to jump into it right away. After a lot of research and testing, this is what I came up with, so let's go. Ingredients for the Traveler's Old Fashioned. 1.5 ounces Traveler's Blended Whiskey, 1/4 to 1/2 ounce of Demerara simple syrup, 1 or 2 dashes whiskey barrel aged, 1 dash chicory pecan, and an orange for an orange peel. Well, let's start making the Traveler's Old Fashioned. In the mixing glass, we're going to add 1/4 ounce of this Demerara simple syrup. I'm adding this because it'll add more flavor to it as well, and highlight some of the flavors that are already in it. If you like your sweeter, then add 1/2 ounce of it. Next, we're gonna be adding 1 to 2 dashes of this whiskey barrel aged bitters. This is gonna add some smokiness. It's gonna also add some finish. And so, this depends how much of the bitters you like. 1 or 2 dashes is more than enough. We're also gonna be adding some of this El Guapo chicory pecan. This will highlight some of the little flavors that are in the background. There's not too much nuttiness to this, but it'll add some of those natural flavors that just kind of come out in the back. Now it's time to add 1.5 ounce of this Traveler's Blended Whiskey. These tops are actually somewhat hard to take off. I've seen that with some of the reviews that they do have some issues with that. 1.5 ounces. Next, let's add some ice to this. And let's stir. Next, we're gonna strain to a glass with a large ice in it. And we're also going to express a large orange peel over it. Let's pretty it up by using that as the garnish as well. And there you have it, the Traveler's Old Fashioned. So now that we have this made, it's time to sip and enjoy it, right? I don't know how many of you have tried this, but a lot of the reviews show it hits the palate very quickly, leaves very quickly. I don't know where they get all those flavors from that I listed off earlier. So let's see what I did. Let's see if I made this have more flavor, last longer on the tongue, have a better finish.
That's what she said.
Let's go in for that first sip. It's an old fashioned for sure. You get the flavor of the bitters, you get a flavor of the sweetness, and a very small hint of this whiskey. It's not a bad old fashioned. I would drink this. This is something I expect when I go to a restaurant, kind of the old fashioned I would get from there. I think I extended the flavor because I still have flavor in my mouth, but I think that's mainly the bitters. I think it's mainly the barrel aged bitters that I'm tasting still. I'm going for that second drink. So, old fashioned wise, it is.
It is.
People who don't drink old fashions very often, are not big whiskey drinkers, and don't like a very spirit forward drink, this would be a good old fashioned to start them off with. A good one to try. You get all the hints of what an old fashioned should be with the spirit, the bitters, and the sweetness, right? But at the same time, it's not overpowering and you know, hitting those taste buds with all this whiskey and all this heat. I did minimize the heat that I did linger on with this one, so that even helped that. But it's still not the greatest old fashioned I've had either. And I've had a lot of good ones, right? I think I can come up with a better one. I think I can work on this more, figure out how to make this better. So I think I'm gonna start a Traveler's Old Fashioned series. Do you think I should start a series to make the ultimate Traveler's Old Fashioned?
No!
Let me know in the comments below. I already have a few ideas brewing in my head, and I know once I go down that rabbit hole, I'll be tumbling down it pretty quickly. Well, friends, thank you for joining me on another journey down my old-fashioned rabbit hole. To our next journey, or should I say next travel, my friends, cheers.